it's different. So, I mean, dream destination of mine. I really don't know why it's been a dream destination, but it has been, and I'm glad that I've able to come and experience.
So let me ask you, love, this is your bucket list. What was it about Cuba that you needed to come here?
I just wanted to experience it.
Why? Like
Because I
why?
just, the history of it, just to
Okay.
seeing how, it was, in this heyday back in the 50s and 60s to like now, just have heard so much about the history. So, and then of course I'm dancing salsa now, passionate about salsa, been dancing for about 2 years. I know this is, where it originated. And so uh, to come here and get some of the Cuban flavor uh, as it relates to the dance, it's really been good.
I like to talk about the intensified life as a part of not just living big, living full, of course, first and foremost, being centered in God, but also just enjoying life. And I'm glad we got to do this trip together. Anything you felt was especially meaningful in this trip for you?
Just that's the fact that we're together. I
Okay.
just makes you really count your blessings though when you come to places like this. That you know that you don't have any control about where you're born, who you're born to, your living environment, your conditions. So to be living in the States and take so many things for granted, makes you trips like this are good, I think, to put things in perspective. So
Yeah. So we're going to La Playa. Vamos a la playa. We're going to the playa, the beach. Ready for the beach?
yes. See,
I'm not ready. But we're going to dance.
we're gonna do
Okay. He has to go catch a bus.
we have to catch a bus. So we save these
Para
Cuban
la
pesos.
playa. Vamos a la playa. Para. Vamos a la playa.
Bye
Para.
y'all.
Vamos a la playa. Playa. Vamos a la playa. Para.
Oh.
So right before we had to leave, we were able to stroll downtown. You see the Capitol building right there. And as we walked to get breakfast, it was really cool to see how people live in the heart of the city. Havana is an old town. So many beautiful spaces and places. You can see in the architecture, it's definitely not modern, but in so many ways, it's just really cool. And of course, along the streets, you have these antique classic cars, primarily because once Cuba was shut out of the global economy and there were no more vehicles made there or shipped there from beyond their borders, they just kept what they had. So some of these classics are now really the source of income for the taxi drivers and those who like to tarry around tourists. This is one of the hotels we were able to find. Unfortunately, it was at the end of our trip, but hospitality was great. And it was so cool to see people who look just like us. Of course, that's because the slave trade brought so many of the Africans to the islands. And many of them, as you see, are very much like us. It was a good trip. We have great memories in La Havana, Cuba. My husband was challenged by the living conditions. Definitely not what he's accustomed to in the States, but we say goodbye for now, and I think he'll go back. Well, at least as we were riding off to the airport until we got stuck. We got stuck for about 3 hours due to bad weather, and it just added to our adventure. Of course, in these moments, you really learn how to deal with stress and discomfort, and we did okay. It was a little irritating, but you make the most of it. So, thank God we had our laptops to do a little work. We waited like everybody else, and of course, thought about what was waiting and waiting and waiting for us at home. Waiting on God is always best. After all, God makes dreams come true.